Hey everyone, Dr. Luke Peterson here, physical therapist with a knee replacement therapist. You're watching the Knee to Know Show. For today's episode, we're going to have a quick one, but a really important one. We're going to talk about SMART goals. So we're going to use the word SMART to figure out how to make goals that are optimal and are going to be the best for you and lead to the best success in achieving those goals. So SMART goals, each letter of the word SMART is going to talk about a specific characteristic of your goals. So when you're writing out your goals, and you should write out your goals, and we're talking about if this is for exercise, if this is for health and wellness, if this is for personal development, whatever it may be, if you have goals, then you're going to have better outcomes. Having that goal, having something written out, something that you can look at, something that's going to keep you accountable to that goal and focused on achieving that goal, you're going to have a lot better success, you're going to notice better outcomes, and you're going to notice that you're going to achieve more and more by doing so. So what do you need when you're writing out a specific goal? Well, the first letter of SMART, S, actually is specific. So you want your goals to be specific. You want them to be something that is detailed. You want something that is not nebulous, not foggy, not difficult to understand or interpret. So for example, saying I want to walk better is not a specific goal. You want something like I want to be able to walk up the flight of stairs in my house, or I want to be able to walk around the block, which is whatever, 0.5 miles or 1 mile long. So very specific. The more specific you are, the more focused you can be with the actions and the planning of that goal. The next letter is M, so that means measurable. So you want some sort of measurable number or value that you can attach to that goal. Why do we want to do this? Because this helps us see where we are progressing. It helps us track if we're getting better, are we getting closer to that goal, or are we not getting closer to that goal. If you don't have some sort of value attached to it, something measurable, then you're not really able to see if you're progressing or regressing or stuck in the same place. So for example, we'll stick with the one, I want to walk better. Well, so we want to say I want to walk around my block, which is 1 mile. I want to be able to walk around my block without any increased pain. And you might even add, you can do the distance, you can say 1 mile, you can do the time. I want to be able to complete it in 10 minutes or less. You can say all sorts of things. And of course, depending on what the goal is, how you're going to measure it is going to be different. But you really want to attach some sort of value to the goal. The next thing is A, so you want it to be attainable. You want your goal to be something that is within reach and within possibility. So, we can be optimistic and we can set really high goals and really high expectations, but at the same time, we want them to be attainable, we want them to be realistic, we want them to be something that if you put in the effort, if you put in the time and planning, you can achieve this goal. It's not something that's way out in the clouds, way out in the sky. It's something that's achievable. And if you have one of those goals that might be way out in the clouds, way out in the sky, then a good advice is to break that up. What are some smaller goals that you can shoot for that are going to get you toward that bigger pie in the sky goal? You want something that is an attainable goal. If you don't have something that's attainable, what's going to happen is you might get frustrated. You might get frustrated with not progressing as quickly as you want, with the increased amount of time and effort it takes to reach it, with the setbacks. So you want something that's attainable, something that is reachable. The next letter is R, so we want our goals to be relevant. We want the goal to mean something to you and be relevant to your life and what you're trying to accomplish in your life and what's going to bring you joy, what's going to bring you pleasure, what's going to increase your quality of life overall for you and your family and friends. So something that is relevant. So being able to walk better is relevant because you need to walk for exercise. You need to walk with your kids to their activities. You need to want to walk with your husband or maybe with your parents. You want to be able to walk, maybe your work requires some walking, or you want to go on a vacation. So very relevant goal. If you set a goal that says, I want to bench press 300 pounds, for a lot of us, that's probably not really relevant to anything natural. Not that that's a bad goal necessarily, and there's some people who are weight trainers and that motivates them, and that's great, and they want to get nice, big and strong and build strength, and that might be a good goal, but for most of us, it's not really relevant as some other things, just as an example. And the last thing is T, so we want it to be time-based. And what I mean by that is set a time, set a deadline for your goal. If that's 4 weeks, if that's 3 months, if it's the end of the week, whatever it may be. The timeline is going to vary depending on the extent of the goal and how big it is and what you're trying to accomplish. But make sure your goal is time-based. What that does is, again, that adds to that accountability that, I have to achieve this in 4 weeks. You said tomorrow yesterday. So, you keep putting things off, you keep procrastinating. Having a time-based goal says, I need to accomplish this in 4 weeks. I need to accomplish this by the end of the month, whatever it may be. That's going to keep you accountable, that you have to take actionable steps each and every day to get yourself to achieve that goal in the timeline that you set for yourself. So all these things put together, so you want your goals to be specific, you want them to be measurable, something objective, something that you can measure and track. You want them to be attainable and realistic. You want them to be relevant to your life and your quality of life and your comfort. And you want them to be time-based. Set a time limit, set a deadline on your goals to keep you accountable. And what I'm going to add to this acronym is also you want your goals to be within the scope of what you can control. So we always talk about there's things that are within your control that you have impact on, and then there's a much broader circle, a much broader scope of things that are outside of your control. So for example, something you might say is, I'll use a professional type of goal, is my goal is to become get that job promotion. And that goal, there's a lot of things that are really outside of your control. There's things of who's the person who's going to decide that? Who are the other people who are possibly could get that promotion? Who's the other people interviewing or who have as much experience as you? Is that position available even that you could try to get that position? Do you have the training and past experience? Do you have the clients? Things that are outside of your control are going to really dictate that if you get that promotion or not. So you want to think about something, what's more within my control? Maybe it's improving your productivity level at your job. Maybe it's saying that I'm going to do A, B, and C consistently for 1 month or every week. Or maybe it's I'm going to get so much amount of sales or whatever it may be depending on your job. And this is, of course, is just an example. We're talking about knee replacements and exercise and physical activity. But make sure your goal is something, it kind of goes with the relevant and attainable part. Make sure it's something that is within the circle of what you can control and achieve. And that's going to make you focused on that and make it attainable and something that you can work towards. All right? So this has been the Need to Know Show. We talked about SMART goals and how to write great goals. And again, I'll encourage you all to write your goals down, have them on paper, have them on a whiteboard, whatever it may be, so that you can look at those goals, keep yourself accountable, and make the plan to do the things that you need to accomplish those goals. All right? Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been the Need to Know Show. I'll talk to you all soon.